गुड इवनिंग, नमस्कार, जय जगन्नाथ, जगन्नाथ भगवान की जय। बाय द ग्रीटिंग्स आप समझ चुके होंगे कि हम लोग किस जगह की बात कर रहे हैं। Obviously, we are talking about Odisha, the land of Lord Jagannatha. So let's start this session by the greetings or the praying to Lord Jagannath, Bhagwan Jagannath ki jai. So today we'll take you to start. We started our India Deco series, our first series with the East Coast, and on the 10th series we are again in the East Coast. So we started with Vizag, and now we are to Odisha. Again, the eastern coast of the Bay of Bengal. So this is we today we will be taking you to the coastal regions of the Odisha, coastal belt of Odisha. आप सब लोग, many of you have visited Puri, Konark, Bhubaneswar, but this is something very different, and you'll experience that the coastal life of Odisha is different, the food is different, and everything is different, and you'll experience that it's something very coastal. Some beach is something which fascinates everybody. बीच ऐसी जगह है जो सबको मतलब अपने आप को अट्रैक्ट करती है, अपने अंदर अट्रैक्ट करती है. Everybody wants to spend their evening at a beach. आप बीच पे जाके अपने आप को यू फील दैट हम लोग वहाँ पे रिलैक्स हो गए, हम लोग कुछ एक्टिविटी हिल्स में किसी वाटर स्पोर्ट्स एक्टिविटी जाते हैं, तो वो एक्टिविटी करने के बाद हम लोग सोचते हैं कि हाँ नाउ वी आर रिलैक्स. सो इसी चीज को लेके वी आर टॉकिंग विद आवर स्पीकर टुडे. सो आवर स्पीकर फॉर टुडे इज मिस्टर जीतू मिश्रा. सो टेलिंग अबाउट Jeetu, Mr. Jeetu Mishra, he is a famous archaeologist, and he did his MA in archaeology from Deccan College, Pune. And after doing archaeology, he has started promoting the heritage and the education, heritage and the culture of various cities in India and in and around India. And he is working for the education sector and the heritage management sector, where on the practical basis जो हम लोग बुक्स में पढ़ते हैं उससे थोड़ा सा कुछ हटके Mr. Jeetu Mishra is doing. So I welcome on board Mr. Jeetu Mishra. Welcome, Mr. Mishra.
Thank you, Gunjanji. So I am so privileged to be here and talking about my own state, Odisha. So can I start? So can I?
Yeah, you can start, please.
Okay. So
yes, please start the.
Okay. I think there's some sound coming from your external sound.
Just a minute. Now? Hello?
Yeah, it is little better. Yeah. There's some external sound coming.
There's some external sound coming. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
I'll mute myself and you can start the presentation.
Yeah, you can mute yourself. Yeah. Hi, good evening, friends. This is Jeetu Mishra, and I must thank you, Mr. Gunjan ji, for inviting me for this wonderful webinar. So I am an archaeologist by training. I have done my archaeology from Pune's Deccan College in early 90s, and then I was doing my PhD. I've also worked extensively in the field of education, and I am also co-founder of an organization called Virasat-e-Hind Foundation, and which actually is this organization where I am the co-founder of Virasat-e-Hind Foundation, actually is involved in knowledge disseminations and also to make popular Indian culture and heritage among common people. So today I'm going to talk about Odisha. So when we talk about Odisha, the first thing that draws to our attention is Lord Jagannath, and we all started with the version of Lord Jagannath and paying our homage to Lord Jagannath. And Puri is known for it. It's one of the most sacred cities for Hindus all over India, not only of India, but in the entire world. But besides Puri, we also most of the travelers also know about Odisha for Bhubaneswar, which is again the city of temples. Around there are about 500 historical temples like Khajuraho, and besides temples, Bhubaneswar also has beautiful rock-cut caves going back to the early centuries. Then it was the battle site of Kalinga, which transformed Emperor Ashoka from being a cruel king to the emperor of peace. And from here, Buddhism was spread to Sri Lanka and Southeast Asia. So that is how is Bhubaneswar is known for. It's the capital city, a modern metropolis. Then you have also the World Heritage Site of Konark, which is again a magnum corpus when we talk about the Hindu temple architecture dedicated to sun god. Konark is actually now only the front part of the monument is survived. The main vimana of the temple is no more, but still it attracts thousands and millions of visitors throughout the year. So that is what we all know about Odisha, the Golden Triangle. You have one Golden Triangle that is more popular, that is Delhi, Jaipur, and Agra. Besides, you have another Golden Triangle that is in Odisha, Puri, Bhubaneswar, and Konark. So apart from this Golden Triangle, Odisha, the coast of Odisha, I'm not going to talk about the tribal aspects, the mountains, the hills, the waterfalls, but I'm just going to be confined, because if I start talking about the whole tourism potential of Odisha, then I think it will require at least 3-4 hours. But within 1 hour, within 45 minutes, I'm going to talk about the coastal part of Odisha, and it has got so many secrets. Like you are all aware of Goa, you are all aware of Kerala, but probably would not know that Odisha has much more diversity than any of the states. The coastal part I'm just talking about. You have beautiful lagoons, Asia's largest brackish water lagoon at Chilka Lake. You have the hide and seek beach at Chandipur. You have the golden beach at Puri. You have vibrant culture, Odissi dance, Gotipur dance. You have magnificent architecture. You have also amazing wildlife. And then, of course, the culture. So that makes Odisha a very unique destination for all coastal nature-loving travelers, culture-loving travelers from around the world. So let's go to the journey. Next slide, please. Slide, please. Next slide. So Odisha, so this I'm going to talk about, sorry, the previous slide. So Odisha, an ancient land of vibrant culture, heritage, people, and monuments, has a long coastline. So what you see, the blue, the regions, which is the blue colored areas. I'm going to talk about this, starting from the West Bengal border to Andhra border. So Baleswar is the northernmost part of Odisha, and then you have these things, the Bhadrak, then Kendrapada, where you have the the national park, Bhitarkanika National Park, which I'll be talking. Then you have the magnificent city of Bhubaneswar, you have Puri, you have Konark, and then Chilka Lake and Ganjam, which is the southernmost part of Odisha. So I'm going to talk about these districts in these presentations. Next slide, please. So as you see here, so this is just a bird's eye view of how Odisha, the coastal part of Odisha would have looked like. How it looks like. You have like the red crafts on the right side, which is again the ghost crafts, where you have millions and millions of red crafts. They are just they crawl through the beaches of northern coast of Odisha and also around Puri. Then you have beautiful birds, the migratory birds at Mangalajodi wetland, which is one of Odisha's, or not only Odisha, India's best birding site. Then you have people, the folk people, who are known for their, their culture, their faith in Lord Jagannath. They are very religious, devotional people. Then you have also beautiful sunrise and sunset. So this is how Odisha is like. It is the bird's eye view, and this gives you an idea about that how Odisha would have so many aspects. The coastal Odisha would have so many aspects for a traveler. Next slide, please. So let's start with Chilka Lake. So Chilka Lake, all of you know, most of us know about Chilka Lake, which is the largest brackish water lagoon. It is actually, once upon a time, it was part of Bay of Bengal, but over a period of time, because of the siltation and other geographical aspects, the natural process, it became a lagoon, and it is like it covers almost about 1,000 square kilometer. So you can imagine how big it is, and Chilka has, because apart from its natural beauty, Chilka has so many other aspects which we'll be seeing now. So next slide, please. So, as I told you, Asia's largest brackish water lake, Chilka is a paradise for nature lovers and bird enthusiasts and soul-seeking travelers. So, you can see that how beautiful it has, the mountains of the Eastern Ghat. Then you will see that how you can go on a boat ride, in a non-mechanized boat ride, where you see migratory birds from very, very close proximity. Then you have so many other aspects around Chilka. So this is a paradise. Chilka is a paradise for all nature lovers and soul-seeking travelers. So let's go to the next slide, please. So Chilka, as I said, it is the largest brackish water lagoon. It is spread over 1,000 square kilometer, and on the northern side, it meets the Bay of Bengal, which we'll be seeing in the next slides. So Chilka is known for its so many aspects. So one is like you have the seafood, the prawns and the crabs, and if you are a lover of seafood, so it is like a paradise. Then you have beautiful sunrise, sunset, and each mountain, each hill, each village, each island in the lake has a story to share. So when you go and interact with the people over there, you can easily spend 7-8 days, and only being at Chilka Lake. And this is going to be an amazing experience for any kind of travelers. So not just for the nature seekers, nature lovers, but also for people of all categories. So it's a paradise. So let's go to the next slide, please. So the northern part of Chilka is close to Puri. So from Puri, it is about 1.5 hour drive. And then you reach to a place called Satpada. And from there, you take the boat service and stroll around. So here you have so many other aspects. Like here, Chilka, the land is flat. You will not have much. You don't have much hills around at the northern part of Chilka. Whereas if you go to the southern part, you have more hills, and this is more or less a flat land. And then the main USP of this part is northern part of Chilka Lake is that it meets Bay of Bengal. So two water body meets, and that is something like is a spectacular sight. Like where you have the gentle Chilka, and the other side you have the Bay of Bengal, and both the water bodies meets, and there are innumerable number of villages. And then you have birds, mostly the country birds, the resident birds. Then you have folk stories. Then you have like dolphins, which we'll be seeing now. So this northern part of Chilka is something very, very amazing. So next slide, please. So as I told you, there are numerous islands, one sea, and you will find several boats, motorboats ferrying passengers from one island to another islands. So there are about 100 islands in the northern part of Chilka Lake, and each island has fabulous stories. And and here also, like once upon a time, this area was known for its maritime heritage. Like there were several seaports existing, and on this part of Chilka Lake, and one of them is the Manikpatna. And this area, Manikpatna, is also well connected with the legend of Lord Jagannath. So there is like a story goes when the king of Kanchi refused to give his daughter in marriage to the king of Puri, the Gajapati king of Puri. So the king of Puri felt humiliated, and he wanted to take revenge. And then Lord Jagannath and Lord Balabhadra, both of them actually they actually try to help the king of Puri, the Gajapati king of Puri. And when they were actually passing through, Chilka Lake, in this part of Chilka Lake, then one they felt thirsty, and then one milkmaid called Manika, she came and she offered milk and curd to them. She offered curd to them, and then after that they did not have money to pay, and then Lord Jagannath gave a ring to Manikas, saying that the king is coming behind, and if you show this, if you produce this ring as an evidence that you had met us, and he would actually give you no, the money for which you have sold us. So that is how the story goes, and then the whole area is known as Manikpatna, and this was a port town. And during the historical times, like, people would go to Southeast Asia from here, and then the Southeast Asian people would come here, and there are so many evidences which we have found here. So this was a port town. So, and then you have, right now, of course, there are no port, there is no port now, and you have lot of fishing communities, they live around, fishing communities as well as farming communities. So next slide, please. And this area is known for dolphin, the only place where you find Irrawaddy dolphin, which is critically endangered. And you have at least 50 to 100 dolphins. And if you, in the placid water of the northern part of Chilka Lake, and you go in the early morning in a boat ride, then you come across these dolphins. You can spend hours and hours there and just watching their playful activities, and and you can take pictures and then do videography and all, and from a very close proximity you can see them. So this is what is the dolphins, and it draws a lot of travelers, both naturalists as well as just fun loving people. The dolphin tourism has grown up significantly in last few years. So next slide, please. And then you have there is an, after you see the dolphins, after sighting the dolphins, then you go to a beach called Rajhans Beach, which is a beautiful beach. You will not find any other man, any other humans around, and it's very, very quiet. And then you have also a beautiful cottage. There are ecotourism camps which is there, and where you can book and spend at 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 nights, and they will arrange everything for you. Like, if you book it in advance, they will take you on dolphin ride. They will take you to the place where the lake meets the sea, and it is beautiful. You can go for miles and miles of walk, morning walk and evening walk, without being distracted by anyone, and you can just enjoy the sunrise and the sunset. So this is one of the most spectacular, lovely places in the whole of Odisha. This I recommend a lot. This is Rajhans Beach. So next slide, please. And then we come to the central part of Odisha, central part of Chilka Lake, and where which is known for, which is where the Chilka Lake is wide. It is wide, and it has got several tiny islands, and then there are several swamps and wetlands, which are slightly detached from main Chilka. And one of these is called Mangalajodi wetland, and it's actually a swamp. And Mangalajodi is known for its largest congregation of migratory birds from Eurasia as far as Siberia during every winter months. About I don't know exactly how many comes, but throughout the world they come, and this becomes a favorite place for all wildlife bird photographers. And you have so many species of birds, migratory birds, as well as the resident birds. And this is how wetland Chilka is, Mangalajodi is very well known. So next slide, please. And so this is again a view of Mangalajodi. You can see these birds, and the early morning is the best time to go Mangalajodi, which has also got ecotourism cottages, and you can book in advance. If you don't want to stay there, you can go from Bhubaneswar as well, which is just 1 hour drive from Bhubaneswar. And you start in the early morning around 5 o'clock, then you're there by 6 at the time of sunrise. And then you hire a boat, and the local, the villagers, they have turned boatmen as well as guides, and they have immense understanding about birds and their habitats. And they also help you in identifying. So they are very well versed with the with the activities of the birds. So they are excellent guides as well. And ecotourism has done wonders in this part of Odisha, mainly due to the initiatives of the several individuals, and also by the individuals as well as the community itself. So they have done, and the government also has played its role. So it has become a hotspot for ecotourism. So next slide, please. So though there are many bird sanctuaries in India, like you have in Rajasthan, Bharatpur, and then in Gujarat you have like Thol, and so there are so many water wetlands in all over India, mainly for the bird tourism. But what makes this place, Mangalajodi, unique is that you can see them in a very close proximity, and without having any distractions, and it's all supported by the local villagers. So as I said, ecotourism has been doing wonder here. So next slide, please. And another interesting part of Mangalajodi is that today the place has become a ecotourism hotspot, but it was not 20 years back. So it was a place where poaching was happening in rampant scale. Like every day, people would be, the poachers would kill thousands, hundreds, and thousands of birds and sell their meat in the markets of Bhubaneswar or Kolkata or Visakhapatnam. But due to initiatives taken by several people, several individuals, this area of Mangalajodi has been now completely transformed. So those who were poachers, now they become the saviors of birds. So that is how Mangalajodi is unique again. It has got both human stories as well as nature stories. So this is how Mangalajodi is unique. So as I told you, it is just 1 hour drive from Bhubaneswar, and early morning is the best timing to see birds. And there are excellent community guides at Mangalajodi. You can also opt for staying at Mangalajodi. If you are serious and you want to spend 2-3 days there, you can also stay there in ecotourism camps. Next slide, please. And the southern part of Chilka Lake is like it's an utopia for nature and heritage lovers. You can see the landscape, which is very different from what we have seen in the northern part of Chilka Lake. So here you have the hills of the Eastern Ghats, and they surround the lake, the wetland in all sides, and the water is also quite deep here, and you have so many islands, and for heritage loving travelers, you have even monuments going back to the colonial times. So one of these monuments you can see here, which we'll be seeing in the next slide also. So this is called the Breakfast Island, where which is just 1 hour from the nearest town, Rambha, and you can go at any time of the day, but the best time is the morning, and which is just 15-20 minutes boat ride. And then you have surrounding Eastern Ghats. You can see such kind of beautiful, breathtaking landscapes in the southern part of Chilka Lake. Yeah, next. So as I said that you have so many, this is like this is Breakfast Island, and this was built in the 18th century by a British man, and for having breakfast. And it is a conical structure, and this is the only of its kind. And being there, like you are just reminded of the Mediterranean sea coast and of Greece or something like that. And in India, absolutely nowhere else, nowhere you will find such kind of amazing architectures inside a wetland, in the sea or in the coastal lagoon. And then you have these are the tombstones which you find here in the southern part of Chilka, and they were all going back to the 18th 19th century, and these were dedicated to the French who had established a colony there. So French, British, and all, it was a major coastal harbor. So you have there, the settlements are also there. So this is what you find there. Next slide. So we have already discussed, like you have such majestic, beautiful islands. So this is how you can go in the early morning. You can hire a boat, and both mechanized as well as non-mechanized boats. And then you can just, if you don't want to go to any monument also, you can just be there for hours and hours and just relax in the wetland. So that is what is all about Chilka. It is such a beautiful place. Next.
Absolutely, such a beautiful place. Matlab, something यूरोपियन कॉलोनियल स्टाइल मिक्सचर एंड लगाने की हम लोग इंडिया में है.
Yeah. So then you can go for a day excursions around South Chilka. Like you have such kind of, Gopalpur, for example, which is known for its beach. And Gopalpur is probably many of us would not know that the first beach resort in India was actually at Gopalpur, which was called Oberoi Palm Beach, and going back to the early 19th century, and early 20th century. And then Kerala and in Goa, beach resorts were constructed. But Gopalpur was the first place, and today also it is taken over by the Mayfair Group. It is one of the most beautiful resorts in the whole of India, beach resorts. Then you have such kind of unique fishing techniques, and then that's what you find if you can just do cycling and then find all these places. Next slide, please. Then you can go to other wetlands. Like you can see here a raft, which is actually from the time of prehistory. This craft, this water, and you will like just amazed to see that how it has survived. And the fishermen, they do fishing in such kind of breathtaking landscapes. And then there is a forest called Barbara Forest, which is actually named after a British woman called Barbara, and she was killed by a tiger. And that is how husband has named this a forest called Barbara Forest, which is very close to Chilka again. And this Barbara Forest is known for the biggest teak forest in the whole of Asia. So it's a very dense forest. You have bisons, you have the Malabar squirrel, you have varieties of migratory birds, you have leopards. So all kinds of animals you find there. And then you have such a thick, dense forest, the largest teak forest. So all Chilka. So when you are in Chilka, it is not just the wetland, but also you have so many other aspects. Next slide, please. And have so many temples around Chilka Lake. Of course, Bhubaneswar is known for temples, but you have also historical all around Chilka Lake. And the sculptures, when you see there, you find a lot of similarities with the similar sculptures in Southeast Asia, especially in Indonesia and in Asia, where you find similar sculptures. So that shows that how things going on in the historical times. And as I said, Chilka had so many ports, and from their ships, the Odia merchants would actually sail their boats to Java, Sumatra during the historical days, Java, Sumatra, and Sri Lanka. And from there also, traders would come, and there used to be exchange of ideas, and which we similar kind of cultures. So that is how, for heritage lovers, Chilka is also an added attraction. So it is not just the things, the natural beauty, but it's also the cultural heritage. So next slide, please. So you have orchid farms. So so many. So it's the only of its kind in the southern part of Odisha where there are orchid farms around Chilka Lake. So that is another attraction. That is another secret which nobody knows, and very few people know. Even in Odisha, also people don't know. So you can, when you plan for a longer holidays, so these areas also can be covered. So this is how it's Chilka Lake. So next slide, please. Now we will come to Puri and Konark. So Puri and Konark, as I said before, is in the central part, Puri and Konark, and both Puri and Konark are internationally known heritage sites, tourist sites. And you have this area is known for, again, its apart from Lord Jagannath and his temple and other aspects like the other temples, you have beautiful, some of the most beautiful beaches, especially the beach in Puri and in Chandrabhaga, that is close to Konark. You see golden beaches. So next slide, please. So this is from a hotel, and you can are so many hotels in Puri, both ethnic resorts as well as luxury resorts, where you can stay and you can actually spend your morning and evening hours just on the beach without being distracted. And you have, this is part of the Konark, the life of a dancer. So this is all about Puri Konark Marine Drive. Next slide, please. And Konark, as we discussed before, it is the region's it is one of the most visited monuments in the whole of India, especially among Indians. So after Taj Mahal, I think ASI has listed Konark as one of the most visited, frequented monuments in India among the Indians, not by the foreigners. There are also foreigners visiting, but among the Indians, this is most, and it is a magnum corpus. There is no doubt about it. It's of sheer size. It is like Rabindranath Tagore, Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore had. It is the poetry in stone. So this is how about the Konark. It is one of the most beautiful sites. And then you have this region, Puri and Konark. You have such beautiful craft and art. So here you see one of the most beautiful Patachitras, which is in Raghurajpur, just 8 kilometers from Puri. And this village is known for its unique, art and craft. There are 50 to 60 varieties of art and craft being practiced, and it has produced several, national awardees, including Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan and Padma Vibhushan. And it is also a place where you can observe Gotipur dance. That's one of the prototypes of Odissi dance. So this is all about Raghurajpur. Besides Raghurajpur, you have so many other villages like Dandasai and all, where you find a very, very vibrant art and craft traditions. And then you have, next slide, please. And for culture enthusiasts, here also one can see like Odissi dance, one of India's most well-known classical dances, Odissi. And you find around the year, there are performances happening at Puri or in Konark. But during the month of December, between 1st and 5th December every year, Konark goes through an international dance festival, which is once in a lifetime. Like everybody must see these dance programs, and you have such beautiful backgrounds, and where you have not only Odissi but from all other dance forms in India, all the other classical dance, even from abroad. So you have it's a place where different dance are being performed, and you must be there during these days. And besides Odissi, which is the classical dance, you have Gotipur dance, where the young boys, they perform and called Gotipur dance. So you find in Raghurajpur and in Puri. So there are different legends, there are different stories associated with these dances. Yeah, next slide, please. And recently, of course, this year there were no devotees. But every year in the month of June or July, during the Ashada month, Hindu month of Ashada, at least 1 million pilgrims or devotees come to Puri to have to experience the chariot festival of Lord Jagannath, and that is internationally well known. And it is like for Hindus, not only Hindus, even for non-Hindus as well. So Lord Jagannath, this festival is a must see, and the both all the three nieces, the Lord Jagannath, Balabhadra, and Subhadra, they go on a holidays to Gundicha temple, and during these days, the temple is closed, but you can have darshan at Gundicha temple, and then they return back after 10 days, and it is called Bahuda Jatra. So recently, this Jatra and Bahuda Jatras were celebrated. Of course, there were strict restrictions this year because of the COVID problems, the pandemic. But otherwise, it is a major draw for travelers from all over the world during these festivals. Next slide, please. And as we discussed, Konark is a magnum corpus in stone, so I don't have to. It is a temple built in 13th century. Only the frontal part of the temple is survived now. The main Rekha Viman of the temple, where Surya is in was worshipped, he was installed, the god Surya, Lord Surya. So because of its probably size, majestic size, it fell down. There are several interpretations, there are several theories why it fell down, but we don't have to go into detail. But this temple, you have an array of sculptures and depicting gods and goddesses, erotic sculptures, and then mythical creatures, then dancers, and then lions, and then other animals, so elephants. So everything you will find in this temple. And recently Indian Oil Corporation has constructed an interpretation center where many of the sculptures which have they are damaged or they have eroded. So Indian Oil has taken initiative for creating the replicas, and they are all exhibited. And then there's a film also. And every day evening you have like the light and sound show, which is not, of course, not happening now because of the problem. But every day evening there is a light and sound show, and which takes you through a journey of Odisha's history, and how Konark Temple was conceptualized, how it was built, and entire history behind Konark Temple, not only Konark Temple but also of Odisha and sun worship. So next slide, please. And then you have excellent facilities to stay at Konark and Puri. So you have such beautiful eco cottages, and then you have access to a gastronomic experience. So especially seafood and all, if you are fond of. And then you have beautiful accommodations all at a silent zone, and then there are so many water sports activities as well. So this is about Konark and Puri. Next slide, please. And then if you, and around Puri and Konark, you have so many unknown beaches, and they are not known at all to any travelers. But you can go, if you are an experienced travelers and immersive travelers, then you can go around these beaches, and in the coastal you can do trekking, beach trekking and all, and then you come across such beautiful sights. You can see such migratory birds, the seagulls, and you will find them again on the coast. Next, this is what I call wild secrets. Next slide. You have these golden crabs. They are the fastest runners among all crab species, which you find in hundreds and thousands numbers again in the beaches. You have both red crabs as well as golden crabs. The red crabs we'll see in one of the next slides. And you have such kind of crabs, and you can just be there for hours and hours watching them. Then another top attraction of Odisha is the olive-riddled turtles. So the Odisha is like the breeding ground, the nestling ground for these olive-riddled turtles, which come from the distant Pacifics. That's like an annual pilgrimage of the animal world, and they come in hundreds and thousands of numbers, and they lay eggs, and then hatch, and then they return to their sea journey after 2-3 months. So this is an incredible sight for all wildlife travelers, nature lover travelers from all over the world. So the whole of Odisha, like there are some places, like for example in Rusikulya River in southern part of Odisha, or in Devi Mouth, you have large olive-riddled turtles. But here also, but you find sporadically, if you are lucky enough, you will definitely sight them during your travel. So sporadically. So next slide, please. So fishing is the main activity in Odisha, in the beach of Odisha. You have so many varieties of fishings in creeks and in rivers and in open beach and in lakes, lagoons, everywhere. So this is one. So next slide, please. So this is another one, like beach in the Konark. There is a beach near Konark where you find such kind of things. And everywhere you will find serenity. You will not be distracted by anyone. Next, please. This is again the sea fishing. There is a community called Nodi. They go in the early morning, they venture into the sea, and they come back with fresh catch by afternoon, and which they sell in the local markets. So the activity again in the early morning or in the late evening will find their boats being anchored in the coast, in the beach. Next slide, please. And this is industrial fishing. Again, you use trawlers and all. Like again, you get a lot of fish, and from here, fish is exported not only within Odisha or within India, but even outside India, mainly to Japan and all. So tons and tons of fish are exported. So next slide, please. Now we come to Bhitarkanika National Park. So Bhitarkanika National Park is one of India's most beautiful national parks, which is located again in the coast of Odisha, in the central part of Odisha, in Kendrapada and Bhadrak districts. And this park we'll see in the next slide is called India's Amazon. Next slide, please. So there are several creeks you will find inside Bhitarkanika, and all mud, and all the varieties of mangroves you will find there. So that's why it is referred to Odisha's Amazon. It is a biodiversity hotspot, and believe me, like you can spend 2-3 days without being any distractions. So you don't want any connections, and if you don't want mobile phones or internet connections, just be there for 3-4 days, and you will come rejuvenated. And you are not going to forget this experience throughout your life. So next slide, please. It is the second, as I said, the second largest mangrove in the country after your Sundarbans, which is located in West Bengal and in Bangladesh, and which is of course known for its Royal Bengal tiger. Here you don't have Royal Bengal tiger, but you have amazing varieties of birds. You have amazing varieties of other mammals like fishing cats. You have deer. You have lizard, monitor lizard. You have crocodiles, which is reptile, one of the oldest known. So crocodile, this is mainly known for its crocodiles. So next slide, please. Yeah, so you can see the crocodile, like some of the longest crocodiles in the world, in size, and also oldest. So you find Bhitarkanika. And again, here you have one of the crocodiles is white in color. So that's again rare. There are only 2-3 left in the whole world, the white crocodiles. So here you find one of the white crocodiles, which is actually in captive now. And besides, when you are going on a boat ride or a boat safari, you come across on your both sides on the muddy banks hundreds and hundreds of crocodiles, basking under the early morning sun. So that is what this place makes. This is Bhitarkanika is a paradise for nature lovers. And then you have all the varieties of kingfishers at Bhitarkanika. So this one you can see is a very rare variety. Besides kingfishers, you have all other varieties of several, other birds, migratory birds as well as resident birds you find there in large numbers. So that is how it is also a paradise for birds. And then you have canopies where you can walk through in the morning and in the evening, and that is again at the pin drop silence of the forest, and that is again going to be a very, very different kind of experience. Yeah, next slide, please. And then we go to the North Odisha coast, which is the last. And the North Odisha coast is again has got so many other varieties. There are a lot of spectacular beaches, and also known for their wildlife secrets. And this one is particular, it's a place called Bichitrapur. We'll see a film, also small film. This Bichitrapur, where you find these stumps of trees are how they're dashed by the waves of Bay of Bengal. So this is how it is so unique. I mean, nowhere else you will find such kind of beaches where tree trunks inside the beach, inside the water, and you can just sit there for hours and hours, and then you go on a boat ride and meet a lot of people there. So again, when we talk about this whole northern part of Odisha, you have so many spectacular beaches. This is from Talsari, which is just next to Digha and the end of Odisha. And this is known for its gentle waves and pin drop silence. And you have so many red crabs here. And so we'll see in the next slide. So this is how the Talsari beach, and you have such lovely, sightings of red crabs, which you see here. And when I had gone last year, I was just, I surprised to see that it was stunning. Like I was stunned. There were about thousands and millions of, these ghost red crabs. They are just crawling on the beach. And when you approach them, they just scurry themselves and into the holes. And it was like a red carpet. So it is such a beautiful sight. And unfortunately, in India, we don't promote such things. Whereas in islands in Pacific, it draws a lot of travelers. The red crabs tourism has become a major tourist attraction. So and this is how the North Odisha coast is. Next slide, please. And Chandipur, all of you would know that it is like one of the most beautiful beaches, and not for its golden coastline. But what happens, like every day during the eve tide, it recedes for almost 3 to 4 kilometers. And then when you get up in the early morning, when there is high tide, then the whole area where you were walking and you were playing cricket or you were, biking, and has become part of sea. And that is how Chandipur is very, very unique, and in the whole of India, where the sea recedes every day for 4 5 kilometers. So yeah, next slide, please. And when there is like the sea recedes and the whole beach turns into a biodiversity hotspot, and you can just be there with nature without being distracted, and you can spend hours and hours just not doing anything, and just observe the activity of nature, red crabs calling, then you have molluscan cells, you have migratory birds, so all these things. So yeah, next slide, please. And you have such beautiful boats in the northern parts of Odisha, and these boats are built in clinker techniques. And in the prehistoric time, or even the early historic time, the Europeans used these technique boats for colonizing the entire world. So Vikings or the Greeks, so they use these kind of techniques, these kind of boats. And there are only few places in the world where these kind of boats have survived. One is Sweden in Europe, and then you have India and Bangladesh. Only this part of Odisha, the not Chandipur, Talsari and Vichitrapur area, where you have such kind of beaches, and then in the neighboring West Bengal and in Bangladesh. So this is how I think the whole of coastal Odisha. And with this, I am finishing up the presentation. Thank you so much. So let's have the questions if we have. So yeah.
About beaches in Odisha. Odisha is widely known for its magnificent beaches, such as the Golden Beach at Puri, the Chandrabhaga Beach at Konark, and the Chandipur Beach at Baleshwar, Gopalpur Beach in southern Odisha. They are all beautiful for their coastlines, for their sandy beaches, and they draw a lot of travelers throughout the year. But this beach, Vichitrapur, is very, very unique because of its tranquility. So a 10 minutes boat ride from the nearest ghat take you to a paradise, an island of paradise, where you will not find a single soul. It's only what you hear is the chirping of both distant and migratory birds, and then the gentle waves of the sea. and it is also close to the other famous beach, Talsari, which is which is about 5-6 kilometers north of Vichitrapur. Let's go through a journey to Vichitrapur. Thank you so much. If there are no mangroves, then the sea will have no meaning. It is like having a tree without roots. But the mangroves are the roots of the sea. The hydro. You have seen Vitarkanika, widely celebrated as mini Amazon. But perhaps you may not be aware of non-Palestine coast. Let us picture yet another mangrove, though much smaller in size. Vichitrapur, the mangrove coast of Palestine, is an ecological utopia. A 10-minute boat ride from Haribali through the meandering mangrove fields in Kaupi into no man's reach, the mangrove paradise of discovery. On your way, you come across numerous fishing boats, mostly built in clinker technique and locally known as patia on both sides of the creek. Vichitrapur is one of the least explored mangrove coasts in Odisha and therefore retained its character as an ecological hotspot. The major attraction here is the numerous stumps of water-weathering trees streaming across the marshy land and sea waves gently tossing. Vichitrapur is a centering ground for resident and migratory birds and coast reptiles. Vichitrapur Mangrove is also a storehouse of experiences for knowledge-seeking travelers. One can also do beach trekking from Kalsari or even Dikha to reach Vichitrapur. Another attraction of Vichitrapur is its ghost red crab. Little wonder, these little creatures are the fastest runners among all crab species. As you approach nearer to them, they scurry into their holes. Their eye stalks allow them to see 360-degree potential predators and prey. The surrounding of Vichitrapur is the agricultural heartland of rural Palestine. On your drive from Chandaneshwar to Vichitrapur, you discover betel leaf gardens, a major source of local revenue generation. Betel leaves are delicate plants and much care is taken for their growth. A few kilometers south of Vichitrapur is the estuary of Sondarika, a major maritime gateway to the past for European expansion. Lake Atlantic Botanical Garden is extensively used for subsistence and industrial fishing.
Thank you for such a wonderful presentation. It was like a journey which was
Thank you.
never experienced. Hello, hello.
Yes.
I was saying that.
Hi. Yes.
Thank you for taking for to such a wonderful journey of the coastal Odisha. Like कभी सोचा नहीं था कि उड़ीसा इतना सुंदर हो सकता है. हमने जब भी बात की उड़ीसा की, we just
Oh, thank you
talk
so much.
about भगवान जगन्नाथ, we talk about the Lingaraja temple and the Konark Sun temple. उसके अलावा हम लोग आगे कभी गए ही नहीं. So before we take questions to all our viewers, we have a poll which we are running a poll for you. So please rate our session from excellent to poor. So the poll is here. Please rate our session. And now we'll take our questions. So we have a question from Mr. Saroj Kumar Satyapadhyay. He said that during the description of Chilka Lake, you missed about the most important thing, that is the Kalija temple. Can you just brief about it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Kalizai temple is also there, but I think the shortage of time, I could not speak much about it. Hello.
Yeah. Can you just give a small gist or a brief about it?
So Kalizai temple is located in near Baluga in Odisha, in central part of Chilka Lake, and one can do a boat ride there, 1 hour, and there you have the abode of Kalizai, which was actually she was a local girl, local belief. Then when she got married, and in the olden times when she got married, and her boat was actually drowned, and she died because of that. And there was actually a cyclone when she was going from her village to her satura, to her in-laws place, and there was a cyclone, and because of that there was the climate change in Chilka Lake. The weather changed, not climate, the weather changed, and that affected the journey, and her boat was drowned. Her father was survived, but she died. And later, the locals, started, uh, hearing her voice, and they believe that she has become a goddess, and that is how her temple was built in early 18th century. And thousands and thousands of people go there to Kalijai temple every day to seek her blessings. And all the fishermen in Chilka Lake and all the boatmen in Chilka Lake, before they start their voyage in the early morning, whether ferrying passengers or doing fishing, so they must pray Ma Kalijai, and that is how is Kalijai temple.
So
It's so well
basically,
known.
Kalijai. So if we say that Kalijai temple is basically the temple of the fisherman community, basically the folk deity of the fisherman community.
Not fisher. Oh, folk deities. Yeah, folk goddess, but not only fishermen. So everyone goes there. She is
Okay,
the
okay,
deity of Chilka Lake, you can say. Precisely
okay,
deity of
okay.
Chilka Lake.
Deity of the Chilka Lake. Okay, okay. So one more question is there that from Ms. Meghna Sharma. What is the ideal number of days to explore the major sites and experience the art and culture of the state? And also, is there any staying facility available at the Raghurajpur?
Raghurajpur doesn't have staying option. I think there are some coming up now. Some one or two are there nearby. Some local initiatives are taken, but you can stay at Puri or in Bhubaneswar. Puri just 8 kilometers from there, and, and Bhubaneswar is just 30-40 kilometers.
Okay, okay. And how about if we
And
if we
and it has got excellent road network. So within half.
so if we talk about the number of stays, ideal number of stays to explore the Odisha, full of Odisha state, exploring the art, culture, beach, and everything. So how many number of days one should keep in hand with us?
10 to 12 days, I think, is the best.
10 to 12 days,
Minimum of
covering
10 to 12 days. Yeah.
covering all
Yeah.
the
So you
all
can
the
do it in a
areas.
relaxed way. Otherwise, yeah. Yes, yes.
So one more question from Mr. Satapadhyay. He's asking that another thing from Konark temple was missing. The story behind the Dharmapada.
See, I am not giving a presentation on Konark here. So it would take 1 hour presentation on Konark. My topic was to cover up the entire coastal secrets.
I think so.
So,
If we want to cover, so
you
if we
know,
want to cover the whole of Odisha, it would take around again 2-3 more sessions to
yeah,
cover the temples and the
yeah. We can cover, we can just, the temples of Odisha can be done one session. So it will again require 1 hour at least, where we can talk about Dharmapada and other stories of Konark.
So obviously there are like Odisha is not just all about the beaches, not just about temples. It's about there is lots of food to explore. There is lots of culture to explore. There is a lot of art to explore. So we were talking about
Yeah.
Raghurajpur. So Raghurajpur
Right.
is I think so first rural village which was the title of first rural village was given to Raghurajpur. Isn't it, Mr. Mishra?
Yeah, right.
So there is lots and lots of things to explore in Odisha. So I must say that once the situation is normal, so we can try and plan a journey to the land of Bhagwan Jagannath and the land of Odisha. So the if we say the title given to Odisha is the India's best kept secret, isn't it? So अभी तक हमने जर्नी में देखा लाइक
Yeah,
जो
yeah.
भी हमने देखा, it was something secret and it was hidden from everybody, not very open to all, and not much explored. The places are all unexplored. So the whole state of Odisha is unexplored, and one must say that you should plan a visit to Odisha once in a lifetime.
Right, right. Another
So
thing
in
that कुछ लोगों ने पूछा that they were not able to see the. Hello, can I ask
yeah,
one thing?
please.
Some people have sent me messages that they could not see the program, they could not see the presentation. It was not streaming. That's what they have said me.
So the
So is there a
presentation,
link?
full presentation is available on our Facebook page, and I'll be sending you the links once the session is over. I'll send you the link over the WhatsApp, and the presentation is available on the Facebook page of Travelustan Holidays.
Okay.
So thank you, Mr. Mishra, for
It is
such
there?
a wonderful. It is there. It is available. So I must thank you, Mr. Mishra,
Thank you so
for
much.
such a wonderful session on the Odisha, and to all our viewers, on 21st of July, we are celebrating International Geo Heritage Day. So on 21st, we'll be having a session for Geo Heritage, and before that, the coming Sunday, that is on 19th, we'll also be having a session. So one session would be exploring the geo heritage sites in India, and one session would be we'll be have a talk with our expert on geo tourism. So please stay connected with us, all the viewers, and thank you for staying connected and watching us, watching this webinar. Thank you. Have a great day. Good night.
Thank you so much.